Okay, welcome back to the Quest for Details, or welcome for your first time. Going to look at this. This is a continuation of another video that we made at the beginning of the year, and I was cutting out all of these raw shapes with templates from different obsidian slabs. So self-collected the obsidian, then slabbed it, and then traced all these different template shapes onto it with our own homemade templates, and then proceeded to cut those out, rough those out, and then have polished them to another degree. And they only have, some of them are really close, but we need to put them on the buffing wheel for just a couple seconds more, minutes, and bring out the fine polish on these. A couple of these I've already started experimenting with, getting holes drilled through them so they could just be raw strung like that. And then this one I decided to wrap already because I was learning a new wrap, and I thought, hey, might as well try one of those. But I didn't want to go too much farther because I already jumped the gun. I didn't film. This was the mismatch that was in with the entire load, all of the stones that I polished with them, different Apache tiers and stuff. That actually goes in here, but that didn't have any pre-chosen shapes. So this was an experiment in doing a mass cut. You can see that these all have different patterns in them. So that's just obsidian, natural glass. Some of them that start off looking like that, then when you hold them to the light, have a whole lot more going on. So some of these will just be fun trinkets. It's a type of obsidian called mahogany. You can collect around the Clear Lake, Shasta area, and lots of other spots. And some of these will be wrapped. Got a lot of cool shapes going on. Some little natural cabochons, kinda. And yeah, all of these are real pretty when you hold these up to the light and you see that it's got the stripes in there. So that's what I gotta do. I gotta go out to the buffing wheel for a while and polish on all of these, and then maybe we'll do some wraps. We'll definitely go through these and I'll let you look through them a little bit better. So out to the wheel. So I recorded myself doing this several more times, the same rap style with different variations on the ending and the bail and the little twist, but then I realized what an incredibly long video that would be. So, just so you know, I continued on for several days and nights and rapped and rapped and rapped until I had done all the ones that I was intending on rapping, and then it was time to drill. Now I have this sped up in the video to 8 times normal speed, but this Obsidian was way harder to drill than I had anticipated, and I actually wore through, well, or at least wore out to where they were dull, 5 or 6 different drill bits for the Dremel on these pendants. So something about the grain, something about the stone itself, just even in water, heated up and kind of wore out the bits. But I was successful and I ended up doing quite a few of them and getting holes through, although just like anything else, when you force it, they can tend to break. Okay, power of the camera. We're going to switch forward a few days here, and I have everything that we polished and cut. See, these have been collected, cut, polished, drilled, and wrapped. Some of them not wrapped and just left whole. And these are all of the ones that I broke during drilling and mishaps and misdrills where my angle wasn't straight and the crazy things that happen. I also burnt out a couple drill bits because quartz is really hard. Drilling through some quartz, experimenting with that. Happy with the results, but dang costly on the drill bits. So even did a flat piece. So these are ones that we collected and then tumbled and polished. Did some very little ones here. Some ultra delicates. I have to backlight some of these with the flashlight, it looks like. But learned a new wrap style that holds these really well. And working on my different bails and finishes. And feel like I'm progressing. I wanted them to smooth out, not have any sharp edges, be stronger, be everything that they should be. And then this design with these cuts wrapped. Yeah, some of these are has some really cool. I don't like the background. I'll have to show you these better. Got my flow going on with this form. Got several forms now of wrapping that I am just totally happy with as far as their strength and holding the stone. So the last batch of Lake County diamonds I put in the shop had the other main style that I'm really liking. And about 3 or 4 different bail configurations and tricks that I've learned now that I'm really enjoying. There's the ends on all those. I have a pretty distinct front and back on these. And it's hard to find forms that won't obscure the stone too much. When these are backlit, you'll see even more why I wanted to leave them open. I'll have to polish all these again because I'm getting my fingerprints that are ever presbyry upon them as I show you. Made them from fish into these soft faux arrowheads that they're supposed to be, just the form of arrowhead. Just to give that hint, but without actually carrying a glass knife around your neck. Which, you know, is pretty cool. I've done that too. So here's our hearts. And I'm just leaving them as they are, because sometimes it's good to just have a plain heart presented to you. And, you know, you can draw them, you can do whatever you want. This is a very translucent piece. It's one of my favorites. There's a hint of it, but I'll show you the backlighting here. And they are not perfect. None of these things are perfect. But they are one of a kind in that form. And then these are our drills. So these are just where I went through, drilled all of these pieces, which was its own mission for sure. And then had to come up with a little bail for each of those, which is trickier than you might think. So some of these I made just simple rings and then doubled them up. And some of them I went ahead and went permanent little bails into them. I think the color and the mahogany obsidian is just awesome. This one, it's just, it took a lot to drill. And then the form, you know, I think I need to go with something prettier. But it is extremely functional. It's clean, nice clean balanced wrap. And I don't know, I haven't put it on a string yet to see what it would look like in that sense, but we captured the blue sheen in there of that obsidian. And that was hard to do on its own. So yeah. Not bad. That was those can go back in a tumbler or something. They can have something done with them. Or nothing at all. These turned out pretty nice. Some of these are just plain black until they're backlit. And some just show off the wood. Well, I'm calling it wood. It's definitely volcanic glass. And some of them are combinations. Have to do all the weighing, measuring, photographing of all of these, so I can both post them on Instagram and onto the shop. So that's what I'm going to do next, is my little photo shoot. And yeah, enjoying the way that these turned out for sure. Some of my most complete from beginning to end with extra pieces for sure. Not going to go through and show you each individual bail. You get the point, and you've seen this. I'll put up a link at the end for the cutting end of this, the other video where I showed you what I had done. This is what I ended up doing with that mass cut project and a couple more pieces. So let me show you some of these backlit. So I hope you like that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up. And like I said, I still have to do my photo shoot and then get all these put up there. All kinds of different little doodads that we have made to buff all my little fingerprints off of everything for sure. But yeah, every time that you do something, you get a little bit better at it, you experiment, you learn some stuff, and this is how far I have come with this material in this particular project. So thank you all for joining me, and I return you now to your regular scheduled lives. Please remember to take care of yourselves, and if you get the chance, take care of each other.